So good evening, everyone. Welcome. And on behalf of Passport Global Consultant, I would like to warmly welcome each one of you to today's free webinar. Today's webinar is entitled The Biggest Nursing Decision You'll Make. There are two countries that we are discussing today. We are discussing nurses who would like to go to the US and those nurses who would like to go to German. So it's an exciting and an interesting topic. Can't wait to hear or to listen to what the speaker has for us today. We are very much delighted that you have taken your time out of your evening just to invest in your future here to listen to what we have. Whether you are a student nurse, you are practicing nurse, or simply exploring international career opportunities, today's session has been designed with you in mind. So we shall be exploring all those, regardless of whether you are practicing or whether that is where your future is, and whether you're dreaming of getting global opportunities. So this webinar is specifically for you. And even as you were preparing, we had you in mind. So please let us know where you are joining us from, or continue letting us know whether you are a registered nurse, a student nurse, or you are an intern, or you are of any other profession looking to explore international opportunities. So before we begin, or before I introduce our speaker for today, allow me to share briefly what Passport Global Consultants does. So we are a career and education consultancy or agency dedicated to helping healthcare professionals, students, and any other profession access international education and employment authorities. Our services majorly include NCLEX preparation and registrations. So we take you through anyone who wants to relocate to the US or wants to get the license from US to practice in the US. We will take you through the preparation and registration. With preparation, I mean we have our revision classes, revision program, where we do it online, and we've considered nurses. We have very good structure designed just to accommodate all nurses who are either on shift at that particular time that we are hosting the classes, or whether it's your free time. So we have that revision program. We are also nursing. We do USA Nursing Pathway Guidance. That is, as we all know, there are so many states in the US, and all states have different requirements and they're unique in their own state. So whoever wants to go to the US, we will take you through that process and guide you all through from the start until you get your license. We also offer German language training, that is from A1 to B2. This is for nurses, any other profession, and students who want to go to German or Austria to study or to work there. We also have German nursing pathway and the Ausbildung pathways. We also have English proficiency tests training, that is IELTS. We also take you through OET, TOEFL, GMAT, and any other English preparation that you will want, depending on what your employer or what is your goal or what is your wish to go and do. And then last but not least, we also have a job search support and career guidance. This is thanks to our recent milestone that we had at Passport Global Consultants. We are officially licensed by the National Employment Authority, that is NEA, to export labor. So anyone who will want to transition, maybe from Kenya or Africa to any other country, we are ready to help and take you through and guide you through the process. Some of the countries that we specialize in is the USA, Canada, Australia, German, Austria. We also work with the Gulf countries. Recently, we started working with a company in Qatar. So Qatar is also on our list. We have Dubai and Kuwait. So at the moment, anyone who is looking, or any profession who would want, or any person who is in the trades and would like to transition, be sure that Passport Global Consultants will be able to take you through the process and guide you until your relocation. And this is thanks to the government of Kenya giving us a license and allowing us to export labor as per the rules and the regulations of the country. So you're very much welcome. In case of anything, in case of a question or anything that you would like us to take you through, we are very much ready. Now, as we go on with the webinar, I would like those who have joined, maybe they had not introduced themselves, they had not said what their profession is. Please chat, please just share your feedback on the chat box. Tell us whether you are a registered nurse, or whether you're a student nurse, or whether you are an intern. Also, you can tell us if you are of any other profession looking to get international opportunities. Also, please share your expectations. Today's webinar, we've titled it, The Biggest Decision You Can Ever Make. So, are you going to go to German, or are you going to choose USA? Please let us know through the chat box what are your expectations and what you would like us to have to cover as the speaker is ready for us. At this point, allow me to introduce our speaker. So our speaker of today is none other than Ruth Kariri. Ruth Kariri is our marketing executive at Passport Global Consultant. She's going to take us through the presentation, share her insights, share her feedback, or listen to us. So please do not touch that dial. Keep watching and keep listening. She has 45 minutes to give us the presentation, and then thereafter we will go into questions and answer session. Allow me to welcome Ruth Kariri so that she can introduce herself. Over to you, Ruth.
Thank you so much, MARYSILVIA. I would like to first confirm if you can see my screen before I proceed.
Yes, we can. I can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ruth Kariri. I'm the marketing executive at Passport Global Consultants. So thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedules. We know Sunday is normally a rest day and more so family time. So you taking your time to come here, we can see that you're dedicated nurses and you know where you want to take your career. That's why you've taken your time so that you can come and get this information that you are going to share today. So as you had seen from the title of the webinar, so we are here to discuss either the USA or the Germany pathway, and to guide you on how you can be able to make an informed decision as a nurse on which pathway to choose. So before I continue, I would like to know from you, you can type on the chat box. I would like to know if you had a chance today, you've been presented with the chance or 2 job offers in your inbox right now. So one is from the USA and one is from Germany. Which one would you choose? And maybe you can tell me why. If you're undecided, you can also type that you're not decided. Yeah? Kindly let me see on the chat. Let me see your answers on the chat. I can see Mercy saying USA. Mercy, would you mind sharing why you would like to go to USA? Ren undecided. Okay, Joanne, don't you worry. Okay. So today, the reason why we are here today is because we are going to give you the information that will make you confident while making that decision when you're trying to move your nursing career global. So I'm going to go straight to our presentation today. We are going to do a head-to-head comparison on the Germany and the USA pathways. So we are going to look at the language requirements, the licensing exams that are required, work mobility, career growth, and salary benefits. So we all know that I think the number one reason why most of us would like to move is because of the salary. Most people think that that's the only thing that you need to consider when you're trying to get a job abroad, but that's not the only thing that you need to consider. So there are other things that you need to consider, some of which I've mentioned, and now we're going to dive right into them. So for USA, I know you all have you've heard of an exam called the NCLEX. Yeah. So for USA, you need to do the NCLEX exam. NCLEX stands for the National Council Licensure Examination. And that is an exam that tests whether you're qualified to work as a nurse either in the US, in Canada, or in Australia. The licensing is that you need to do an exam called the NCLEX, and you pass that exam. And there's a process that is involved during the NCLEX process. So you need to, there's a registration process, and also there's a revision program so that you can be able to know the course content, what is tested in that exam, uh, also how to take the exam questions. So there's also a registration process. As you know, in the US, there are very, very many states. So you need to be able to know which states do you qualify for and how do you come about to make the decision on the state that you're going to choose. So the exam or the licensing exam basically assesses whether you're ready to practice safely as a registered nurse in the United States. So once you pass the NCLEX and you meet the board's requirements, the board that you have chosen, then you can be able to attain your registered nurse license in the US. And then now for Germany, when we compare the licensing process, for Germany, there is no a licensing exam. Okay, so what you need for Germany is that you need to do German language. So for Germany, you need German language, and also there's a professional recognition process that you do when you reach Germany. So the process is basically to just see whether the education equivalent that you have from your respective country, say for example, if you're from Kenya, so they have to test and see also your qualifications, whether they meet or the qualifications you have, are they equivalent to the German standards? Okay, so once they are able to determine that your transcripts or your qualifications, they are equivalent to German standards, then you can be able to receive a full recognition. So if there are any gaps in your qualifications, then you may be required to do an adaptation program, or to sit for a knowledge examination before obtaining the recognition. So while in the USA, one has to, so for the licensing, um, this is the conclusion. So for USA, you need to sit for that NCLEX, which is a standardized licensing exam. It is standard in the sense that whether you do the NCLEX from Kenya or from Australia or from South Africa, you are doing a standardized exam. The NCLEX is the same across all countries. But for Germany, you will only need evaluation of your qualifications, whether they meet the nursing standards in Germany. And if they meet the nursing standards, then you are a qualified registered nurse in Germany. So that is on the licensing process. That is how USA differs in the licensing process with Germany. Okay, now, so we go to the language requirements. So for the USA is an English-speaking country. So depending on the employer, there are no any key or very specific language requirements in the USA, but depending on your employer or the state board of nursing that you have chosen, you may be required to demonstrate English proficiency through exams such as IELTS, OET, or PTE. I'm sure you've come across these terms, and most people think that even before they do the NCLEX, that they need to have done the IELTS and the PTE, but that's not the case. Depending with the employer is when you are able to determine. The employer will tell you if you need the English proficiency test or not. So you find that some employers will waive those requirements depending on your maybe education or work experience, but some employers are very strict on them, and when they require them, they will tell you so that they can make also your process easier. Now, let's look at Germany. For Germany, sorry, we're on language requirements here. So for Germany, language is not optional. So in Germany, the main or the key language that is spoken in Germany is German language. So it's not optional for you to have that language. So you need at least for German, there are 6 modules for the German language. So we have A1, which is the beginner level. We have A2, we have B1, B2, C1, and C2. So those are modules, and you start with A1, which is the beginner level. You go advancing as you progress. So for German, you need at least a B1 level as a nurse for you to even begin or to do even the application. You need at least a B1 level to begin the application process for nursing. So, however, in some employers, when you go to Germany, they might require you to advance to a B2 level before you can work. And especially if you want to work as a registered nurse, or maybe you want to do independent nursing practice, then you'll require at least a B2 level, which is more advanced than B1. So if you're considering Germany, or you have been thinking about going to work or even to study in Germany, one of the best investments you can do or make for yourself today is starting German language classes. And you need to study, you need to start that early enough, because all those modules, they have a timeline within which you can be able to study them comfortably. So you need to start early. And at Passcode, we actually do offer structured German language training from A1 all the way to B2, so that we can be able to prepare you for that German journey. Okay? I hope I'm not too fast. Let me hear your answers on the chat. Are we together up to there? Okay. So that is on language requirements. We've talked about licensing. Uh, Now let's talk about career growth. Let's talk about career growth. So career growth is another very important part to consider when you, even for other careers, not just nurses. You need to look at where will I be in my career in the next 3, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, depending on how long you want to work before you retire. Yeah. So for both pathways, they offer a good career growth. So in the USA, there are very many opportunities to specialize. So once you've become a registered nurse in the US, you've immigrated, you've gone there, you can decide to become to specialize in critical care nursing. You can become an emergency nurse, theater nurse. You can decide to practice oncology. You can become a neonatal nurse or even a clinical nurse specialist. So specialization, of course, once you specialize, it also comes with higher salaries. And when you have specialized, it also puts your career at a greater chance of you progressing or even rising in ranks. So on the other hand, for Germany, structured career growth, you can be able to advance also in Germany. For nursing, you can decide to specialize in ward management. So all those areas, of course, they come with practice in those very specific qualifications that countries, they do have a reward of continuous learning and experience. The difference is that the USA, generally, it offers a wider variety of advanced practice roles, while for Germany, it is very structured. It is very structured and it focuses on mostly specialization and more of leadership, rising in your rank. Okay. I hope we are okay up to there. Please save your questions so that we can discuss them once we are done with the presentation. So now let's talk about the question that everyone wants answered. I know many of you are here today because of this. Yeah, I'm going to talk about salaries and benefits. Okay. I know that's the question that everyone wants to hear. What are the salaries in the USA? What are the salaries in Germany? So we'll start with the USA. Okay. So nurses in the USA, they typically earn from around 5,000 USD to almost 10,000 USD per month. That is also very much dependent on the state, the specialty. States such as California, Oregon, they pay very highly, but there are also other factors that you need to consider. Even if the salaries are very high, mostly you find that those very high paying states, they also have very high cost of living. So you'll actually find that some nurses will prefer to take a job offer from a state like Texas as opposed to California, but it's because they have compared the cost of living and whatnot, and they have seen that the money that they actually get to take home in Texas is actually way more than what they would have taken home in a state in a high paying state such as California. So in as much as we can use salary as a determinant on the choice that you make, especially for the states. You have to be very careful so that you can be able to know what is the cost of living in those states, and especially if you have a family, you need to be very keen on choosing the state. So that is, if you convert the that money into Kenyan shillings for those nurses who are in Kenya, you'll find that that is around 754,000 per month. Can you imagine how much do you think nurses are paid in Kenya? I think all of you are nurses. You must know how much nurses are paid in Kenya. Yeah? We all know that nurses don't get you cannot get such kind of money here in Kenya. And that's why you find that most nurses nowadays, they learn the nursing course here in Kenya, but they already have set their mind, or they already have set a goal that, you know what, I'm finishing the course here, but I definitely know that I don't want to practice here. And you find that someone finishes, they start the NCLEX, that is the advantage of having information, because you find that most nurses, they don't even know that these opportunities are there. They don't even know, they think that for you to go to the US, you need to know someone there. No, these opportunities are here. And once you have the right information, you can be able to know how to go about it. So that is around 754,000 Kenyan shillings per month. And in addition to the salaries, many employers also will offer overtime, depending on the contract that you have. There are also night shift differentials. You also get health insurance, retirement plans. That is for the US. Okay. For Germany, you find that registered nurses earn between around 3,000 euros to around 5,000 euros per month. But that is very much dependent on the experience, the employer, and the region. So if we convert this to Kenyan shillings, so the euro is around 150 shillings. So that is roughly around, if we use the 3,000 rate, then that's around 450,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Okay. So that means you could be taking from 450,000 shillings per month if you convert it, if you're a Kenyan nurse and you convert it to Kenya shillings, up to 750,000 Kenyan shillings per month. So another thing that most people do not know, Germany is one of the countries that is known for its excellent employer benefits. Yeah. So the benefits include you get paid annual leave. They also have very good comprehensive health insurances. And imagine, even you in Germany, you will also get paid sick leave. So another thing that makes Germany a very good country for employees is that there are very strong labor protections. So you'll find that there are no cases where you'll find that the employer is either mistreating or underpaying, or those things that usually happen, and you find that the employer is not following or adhering to what is in the contract. There are very strong labor protections in Germany, and so you know when you're going to work there that whatever your contract said or whatever you have signed for is what you actually get. And also, if you're someone who values social life, there's a very good work-life balance in Germany. Germany is one of the countries that is known for a very strong social life, as opposed to USA. USA, people are more of isolated. I think it's because of a lot that goes on, and also, for example, as a nurse, you may decide to take like 2 shifts, while you find that in Germany they value social life a lot, and so there's an excellent work-life balance. So in conclusion, while the USA generally offers a high earning potential, Germany will provide you with exceptional employment benefits and also social security. So that is it on the salaries and benefits. What I've not discussed is work mobility. Let's look at work mobility. So in the USA, you'll find that nurses are in demand in almost every state. Yes. So once you're licensed, you can have the opportunity to work in hospitals, clinics, long-term care facilities, and many other specialty areas. So, but if you've moved from one state, for example, if you're working in Montana and you want to uh, go and start working in a state like California, so you may need to endorse your license. Now, depending on the new state that you're moving to, you need to endorse your license to that state because, like I said in the beginning, um, these states do have very specific requirements that they check before they decide to give you a go ahead on doing the NCLEX or giving you a license to work in that state. So, also, if you decide to change from California to Montana or Montana to California, then you'll need to endorse your license depending on that state's regulation. Okay. So for Germany, after obtaining the professional recognition, you can be able to work in hospitals, rehabilitation centers, community healthcare. And an added advantage is that once you've gained the German language proficiency, you're good at the language, you can be able to get other opportunities in the European countries. You can be able to work in countries such as Austria. Austria is a German speaking country. You can work in Switzerland. You can work in Luxembourg. Okay. So German language is also it's a very good thing, or it gives you an upper hand when you're working in the European countries, because there are several European speaking countries. I mean, there are several German speaking countries which you can be able to explore in terms of career. So if your long-term goal is to go to Europe, you can starting to learn German language is a very good starting point. So both countries do offer work mobility, like we've seen, but for USA, you need to endorse your license to the specific state that you're moving to. As for Germany, as long as you have the language proficiency, then there are not much recognition requirements that are needed. Okay. Okay. We've discussed that. So another thing that people do not understand is that you can be able to, for example, start with Germany and then you move to US, and also the vice versa. You can also start with the US and move to Germany. Okay. There's something that I've not talked about. I think I kind of missed that, but it's about the timelines. Okay. So for the US, the NCLEX process takes around for example, if you're doing it with passcode now, it's a process that you can be able to do within 6 months. Okay. That is because the registration process may take around 3 to 4 months or 5 months. So within 6 months, you can have completed your NCLEX process. Then once you've finished the NCLEX process, if you get immediately into the job search, you get a placement. So once your employer has filed the I-140 petition for you, then once you've entered the visa queue, it may take you around 1 year, 1.5 years to 2 years for you to have migrated to the US. As for Germany, for you to, if you are doing it with passcode, it will take you around, let's say, 7 months to have completed B1. Then after 7 months, within 3 months, you will have gotten a placement in Germany, and within the next 3 months, you will have you'll be done with your immigration process, because the visa process for Germany is not very long. So what does that tell us? So that tells us that for USA, it's a longer process, while for Germany is a shorter process. So that does not mean that one is better than the other. What that means is that if you, for example, have the privilege to wait, maybe maybe you just started a family, or maybe you're waiting for your kid to grow a little bit for you to migrate, then you can choose the USA process. But for someone who is very much proactive with doing the immigration process, and they want a shorter pathway, then you can choose Germany. But it does not mean that either of the pathways is better than the other. It's just that there are other determining factors, that, like the ones I've mentioned, that will help you to choose depending on how prepared and committed you are to the process. Okay, are we together up to there? Let me see. Let me see on the chat box. Chanesani is saying he was late. Don't worry, we are going to share this the link to this webinar with you guys. We're going to share this with you guys later on. So don't worry, if you've missed anything, you'll be able to get it, or to listen to the recording later on. Okay. So let's come to why we are here today. So up to there, I believe that you've gotten some information or learned something that can be able to at least guide you when you're making a decision on which country you're going to choose while trying to take your nursing career global. So here at Passcode, we don't tell you to choose either the USA or the Germany. That's why we decided to have this webinar, because that is a question that we have been getting a lot. Nurses come to us and they're like, now, please tell me which one to choose. And we tell them that we can't tell you which one to choose. We need to, first of all, understand your goals. We need to assess also your qualifications, so that we can be able to give you the guidance that you require step by step. So whether you choose the USA or the Germany pathway, just know that you're not working alone, because that is what Passcode do. So we have a language training, we have NCLEX preparation, we also do assist with NCLEX registration process, we give you job search support, and also we are able to guide you on the relocation. So we really we are really a one-stop shop when it comes to the German and the USRN pathway for nurses. We are committed to giving you and helping you achieve the dream of ensuring that you build a successful international nursing career. Okay, so that being said, how do you start either your Germany or your US process? So, like I said, we do have NCLEX training program. So what do we do during the NCLEX training program? We give you a 4-month revision program, a very comprehensive program. So we ensure that we give you all the course contents that is entailed in the NCLEX. We coach you on how to take the exam questions. We give you very personalized support because we understand that people are very different. People's goals are also very different. Yeah, so we give you personalized support, and we ensure that we do assessments from time to time so that we can gauge your readiness for the exam. So by the time you're going to sit for that exam, we are sure that you're going to ace the exam, because this is a process that money is involved, because our program is self-sponsored. So where money is involved, we wouldn't want you to waste your money and time, because um you find that most people who come to us, when they had started the process and they got stuck somewhere, it's because they didn't have the right guidance. Maybe they were doing the process by themselves, or they thought that they can self-study. And actually, it's not, I'm not saying that you cannot self-study, but for everything to be successful, you require a plan. Okay, so we give you a very structured program, we give you a study plan, so that we can there are days that you feel like maybe you don't need to, you're not able to study by yourself. No, when you have class and you have also other people that you're learning with, there's that factor of accountability and also inclusion that makes you want to keep pushing. And also you have when you have someone supporting you, tracking your progress, telling you to keep pushing, telling you what you need to work on. Okay, so we actually have an upcoming intake, the August NCLEX intake, which will start on Monday the 10th. So for those who have decided that they want the USRN process, or they want the USRN pathway, then the time to start is now. You can book your August 10th slot so that we can enroll you for that class. As for those who will decide to choose the German pathway, of course, depending on the things that we've shared, you can be able to know which pathway would interest you or would suit you better. So we have a German language program. So I told you we offer 4 modules, but for this coming intake, we have A1 and A2 modules. We have both physical and online classes for the German language program. And the intake will also be on 10th of August. So we'll give you all the support you need. You know, learning language is usually, especially as an adult, is not a very easy thing. It's not like when you are young, I think we used to grasp things very easily. But I think as time goes by, you find that it's not very easy to grasp the language. But that's why Passport comes in. We give you all the support you need. We give you expert tutors who will be able to guide you. And also from time to time, we do bring our experts from Germany. We usually have webinars where they talk about life in Germany. They basically prepare you mentally on how you will be able to face life when you go to Germany. Because you find that most people, even when they get there, they sometimes get what we call culture shock. So you are able to prepare your mind mentally and also know how you're going to navigate life from there. And when you're hearing it from someone who is in Germany, that I think that also motivates you more and more to keep pushing for that Germany dream. So for the NCLEX process, we do not leave you at you've passed the NCLEX, now you're stranded and you don't know now how to go about uh, now how you'll go to about getting an employer and actually reaching in the US. Okay, so we have a department where we have our job search expert and consultants. So after we've ensured that you've passed the NCLEX, now we take you to the job search department, because we are actually committed and determined to ensure that you get hired. Okay, so the key support in our job search is to ensure that we align your CV according to the USA standards. We do the job applications for you. We also give you support on how to take the interview. We coach you on how to take the interview, how to answer the questions. And once we ensure that you've gotten a contract, we are able to analyze the contract with you so that you don't sign a contract and maybe there are some clauses there that you don't understand quite well that maybe could bind you, or there are clauses that you would not prefer. So we help you understand the contract, and sometimes even when you feel like you've gotten a job offer that is not very suitable for you, you can tell us and we can be able to get you, because we make very many applications. So you'll actually have more than one contract to choose from. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for staying up to this point. I believe we've all learned something. So I will welcome MARYSILVIA to take it from here as I take a sip or a glass of water. So MARYSILVIA, if you can hear me,
Yes, Ruth, I
please take
hear
it
you.
from here. I need to take a glass of water.
All right. Thank you so very much for that insightful and very informative presentation. We are so much grateful. We've learned a lot. I'll just take us through a summary of what you have shared to the group, to the team that is attending. So first, there are nursing models. We've compared both the healthcare system in USA versus German. So number one point that I've taken home is that when you're doing the USA model, it's more of private public hybrid system characterized by high technology interventions and specialized care focus. When in Germany, they focus on universal healthcare systems anchored in social security, ensuring broad access to statutory insurance coverage. So if you like to go to a country where you factor in the social security, then Germany is the country as compared to US. In terms of salary and compensations, USA will offer you high base salaries with overtime potential. So you work and then you're also entitled to overtime if you wish. While in Germany, they use standardized scales. Uh, Also, Germany contracts feature robust social security and benefits compared to the variables in the US. So for the well-being or also mental health care or mental care of your of a nurse who if that is what you're checking, then Germany is the country for you to go. In terms of working environment, USA focuses on high specialized clinical roles and advanced practice opportunities. Nurses often manage complex technology with a focus on specific patient outcomes, while Germany, they emphasize on holistic patient care and collaborative team structures, integration of basic care duties alongside ethical responsibility in the standard. So if you're also choosing the working environment where we would want to go and work, USA is kind of competitive and seems to have a lot of pressure as compared to German. So it's now your choice. In terms of work-life balance, Germany prioritizes rest, while the US values flexibility despite higher burnout risk. So someone who is going to work in the US is exposed to burnouts as compared to someone who is going to work as a nurse in Germany. Also, in terms of pathway or how the process is done, USA, it focuses on NCLEX and then the English proficiency test, that is the IELTS or OET, depending on which the employer. Germany, you need to have your German language. That is your German language proficiency up to B1 level. Some employers ask up to B2 proficiency. And then you will do the Anerkennung. In the US, you will do NCLEX. Germany will do Anerkennung. And then from there, you are able to transition. So in terms of skills, what is required, language requirements for both nurses, international, if you compare between USA and Germany. So for USA, you only need a mastery in English, that is IELTS or TOEFL. That is very essential. And high proficiency is required to ensure effective clinical communication and professional excellence. That is the USA. Germany, the language mastery up to B1 or B2 level, that is a mandatory. Then the B2 level will be strictly required for patients, safety, and clinical integration. Also, those who have diploma, registered nurses with diploma, and registered nurses with BSN, a nurse with a BSN stands high chances of working in a hospital as compared to a nurse with a diploma. Mostly, if you go to Germany, if you have a diploma, you'll be placed in home cares, or you placed in to work in a you won't work in a hospital environment. But if you have a BSN, you are placed in hospitals. Also, the salary range varies for people working in German versus those working in the US. So for those working in German, also it varies. If you're placed in a mental hospital, your salary is higher, beginning from 2,800 euros onwards. For those who work in home cares, their salaries starts from 2,500. So someone who is working in a mental hospital earns more than someone who is working in a general hospital. That is for Germany. So in terms of costs of living, of course, USA is high. It has high variation and expensive housing. In terms of services, in Germany, the cost of living is moderate, and also they are entitled to subsidies. Another thing that I've learned is that when you're integrating from let's say from Kenya or any other third world country to the US, the lifestyle there you'll find diverse and cultural mix. People are very it has a vast geographic range. Then it is individuals focus. In terms of integration, also German focuses on high public safety, efficient transit system, and balanced social life. So those are some of the take homes that we can learn, and it's upon each and every one of us to assess this, do their thorough research, and make the decisions on their end. So in terms of now the conclusion, or for someone who wants to make their final choice, it is true the world needs us there. We need to be, it's true the world needs us. It's only us to make the choice. I can tell in summary, USA has high salary and fast-paced environment, but complex and complex learning. Germany, work-life balance and social safety. In terms of essential checklists, in all countries, you need to have your language mastery. And then now on final encouragement, I will encourage each one of us who has joined this webinar today to take the initiative to advance their nursing career, do your research, prepare thoroughly, and embrace the global opportunity that is coming up. That having been said, I will allow Brilliant Tom, who is our beautiful, our administration assistant, just to unmute herself and share with us her insights, and then we will call it a day. Please, Brilliant, if you can hear me, unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, MARYSILVIA. Thank you, Ruth and MARYSILVIA, for that presentation. It was indeed very insightful. For someone who had been undecided on which way to take, which pathway to choose, at least now you have an insight, you have a clear direction of what to choose. Yeah, if you want to go through the German pathway, you're welcome at Passport Global Consultants for the German language. If you want to go through the US pathway, we will take you through the NCLEX registration and help make your journey a little less stressful. I hope this information will help you make guided choices, and all the best in the choice you're gonna make. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bravian. And then before we close or before we leave from the webinar, allow me to share two or three feedback from the student. Someone is asking that I said we are licensed as by which organization? So we are licensed by the National Employment Authority, that is NEA. Yeah, that one has been answered. Someone is also asking, after training the German language, will you assist in acquiring the job? Yes, we have ready employers in Germany and Austria. So anyone who has a B2 or a B1, they are encouraged to come to us and then we will get them through the process. Another question, someone was just sharing their feedback, saying, a nurse in Kenya averagely earns, especially for the beginners, they earn 20K. So this also an eye-opener, moving from 20,000 all the way up to 2,500 euros or $5,000. That is in the US case. I think that is a very big decision one needs to make. One last question. Someone is saying, I'm 61 years old. Which country would you advise me to go to? So for the nurse who is 61 years old, USA is the pathway for you. Please start your NCLEX and we will guide you through the process. For German is a bit limited to age. Mostly they take nurses who are, nurses who are below 40 years and below. Also, someone is asking, how do I study NCLEX? Is it online or physical? Yes, all our NCLEX classes are online. Classes are from Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the good thing is that the classes are usually recorded. So should that time find you while you're on shift or you're held up somewhere, just go back to your portal and listen to the recordings. Someone is asking, how much is a nurse paid? How much is a nurse paid in Germany before recognition? So you start earning from 2,500 euros upward. Yeah. So for all those questions that you have not answered, please follow us on our social platforms I've shared. If you want to know more about German, our programs, our webinars, our intakes, offers, and any opportunities that we offer, please, you can join. If you want the NCLEX or USRN, join our USRN group. If you want the German, you can also join German. For any question that has not been answered, be sure we will get back to you. Kindly follow us on the social platforms and we'll be able to assist or help or share the feedback that you guys wanted. Otherwise, it has been a good evening. I want to wish each and every one of us a lovely night. And thank you so much for taking your time just to join Passport Global Consultants webinar. We hope to engage you in many more that are upcoming. And also, don't forget to register for our next Sunday. We're having a webinar. Please follow us on our social platforms. We share our links, all the links to join the webinar, and so that you can be updated on what's coming up. So thank you so very much to everyone who has joined. Thank you very much, Ruth. Thank you, Bravian. And all those who participated. It has been a good ride, and I wish you nothing but all the best in your journey to either Germany or US. Thank you so much. We can all take our leave now.